Hello everyone and welcome to Magic Gathering Strat. I'm Binkabi and I'm here to talk about the breaking news that has swept through the Magic community. The Mulligan rule will be updated, at least as a tryout at the Pro Tour Magic Origins at the end of July and the beginning of August. So, what does this mean? What does this Mulligan rule update mean? Maybe I've read it already, maybe you've not, but I'm gonna talk about it and see what I think about it. So basically the Mulligan rule will stay the same for the most part. The active or the player that's on the play choose if they want to keep 7 or Mulligan, then the opponent does, then you do it again and so forth until both have kept their hands. Then, when this is done, if you have fewer than 7 cards in your hand, then you get to scry one. That's the big change. So if you mulligan to 6 and your opponent kept 7, you get to scry one before the game starts. Where you otherwise will be playing like ley lines and stuff, you will be scrying 1. And scry 1 of course means that you get to look at your top card and then decide if you want to put it back on top or put it on the bottom. So I've seen a lot of things, a lot of comments about this, covering the spectrum of super negative and super positive. And the super negative ones are mainly in 2 camps, or 3 camps actually if you count. Yeah, let's start with the third actually. The third camp is the players that is frustrated about not getting free wins anymore. Yeah, it's not. I really hope that you who is listening and watching isn't one of those, but come on, really, do you need the possibility of an opponent mulliganing to like 4 just to win? Is that really what you signed up for when you try to play Magic? No. And let me tell you what, Scry 1 won't change that. So scratch that. I don't. That can't even be serious. It has to be trolls or something. There's 2 camps left on the negative side. One of them are the camp that says that this makes mulligan easier. This is a really skill testing area actually. If you should keep your 7, go to 6. When do you have your best chance at winning and so forth. And the Scry one will make this easier. And I'd say that it's the contrary actually. The Scry one will make it a lot harder. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have 7 cards. It's a decent hand. Let's say on a scale of 1 to 10 it's a 5. Which means with a decent draw you will have a good chance at winning. With a not so decent draw you will have a pretty low chance at winning. Typically you will keep this hand, but in some matchups you know that you need something a little bit extra. Then you mulligan to 6 and hope for the best. Now, if you have that decent hand, is it better to have a decent 7 card hand or a decent 6 card hand plus a scry one? It's not that easy to decipher. In my book, scry one will never beat having an actual card. But in some matchups, if you really need that sideboard card, let's say a Rest in Peace or a Pyroblast or whatever it might be, then it might be better to go to 6, hope to have it, and lean on the scry one. That might be true either way, but losing that card versus losing that card but gaining a scry one is pretty significant, and it actually doesn't make the decision easier, it makes it harder. Because now we have one more factor to account for when you're trying to decide if that 7 card hand is better than the 6 card hand. For the record, from 6 down to 5, down to 4, down to 3 and so on, it's just a bonus at that point. It doesn't make it that much harder. You still get the scry one, so for that matter it doesn't make it that much simpler. The last ones that have complained about this is the ones that says that combo will be too good now. That combo players look at their 7, if they're not good enough, you immediately throw it back and take 6. No regrets, no consideration whatsoever. But now they get a scry 1 bonus, and that makes them even more consistent. And that statement I agree with. That's true. But you always have to look at the flip side of this. What about your opponent? The blue-white miracle player or whatever that really needs that specific lockdown piece or hate card or like a force of will or what have you. They also get this scry one if they mulligan. They also have to mulligan a decent hand if they don't contain those cards, and they also get the bonus scry one. So while it makes combo a bit more consistent, it also makes the opponents a bit more consistent. So I don't think that statement holds true if you look at the whole picture, but the fragment of it that it makes combo more consistent, that's true. That's definitely true. The positive ones, me included, is that this will make games more interactive. I'm not sure if you watched the top 8 of Grand Prix Copenhagen, but oh man, I think it was the semifinals between one of the Merfolk decks and the Escape Shift deck that went on to the finals. In the deciding game, the Merfolk player mulliganed, kept a one-lander, never drew another land, and yeah, that's not fun. That's very anticlimactic and not entertaining, not fun for anyone. At least I think he mulliganed. He might have gambled on a 7-card hand with one land. I don't really recall exactly, but it was a very boring game. I think he played like one spell or something, maybe, not even that. So the scry one is a step in the direction to try to, without breaking the mulligan factor, making it less painful, making the games more interactive, more interesting, making them into actual games sometimes. Let's say you have an opening of 7 cards and it's 7 lands. You snap mulligan that if you're not playing lands or something. Then you get the 6-card hand with 1 land and 5 decent spells, and you're on the draw. So you have 2 draws to find that second land that you really need. But 2 draws, we all know that's not always gonna work out. So do you gamble on that hand or do you go to 5 hoping to find like 2 lands, 3 spells? That has been the pain of choices for many years now. Now when you go down to 6 and have that 1 land and 5 spells, not only do you get a free scry one right off the bat, you also have the 2 draw steps if you're on the draw, of course. So not only do you get to put away a bad card if you don't want it, you also know immediately what you're going to draw, and that makes up for a lot of the facts that you have to mulligan. It doesn't break it, it's not worth a card. Scry 1 is not worth a card, but it's pretty good. And I think this could actually be the solution to making the games more interactive. I mean, come on, let's say you're in the finals of a Pro Tour and it's a tie and it's the final decisive game, and you look at your starter and it's like 7 spells, mulligan. And then you have, like, as I said, 5 spells and 1 land, and you decide that, okay, I have to gamble, and then you don't draw any lands, and that game is over in like 2.5 minutes. Is that really what we want? No, it's not. And the Scry one could actually make up for that. So I'm very positive. I think this could be the thing. So check out Pro Tour Magic Origins at July 31st to August 2nd and decide for yourself what you think. And also, since the rule won't be active for like FNMs and local tournaments, when you're at your kitchen table playing with your friends, try it out. Just try it. Play with it for a couple of games and see what you think. And let us other know in the comment sections and on the online forums and whatever, because what Wizard is trying to do here is improve the game for us, and we as a community have to give them feedback. We have to say, we like this change, we don't like this change, this could be a better suggestion or whatever. So if you have anything to say about this, please leave a comment. Let us let us know and let us discuss this together and try to make the game even better than it is now. As a final touch, they will also be changing the coverage. So if you're in a coverage game, you can no longer play with aggressive lands, and that means you cannot play with your lands in front, where it typically is a red zone. If you're in the coverage area, you have to play with the lands closest to you at the back, and creatures and all other stuff in front of the lands. Minor changes, but it's basically for the viewers. Magic has been so big now, become so big that it actually has a pretty large crowd that's watching on Twitch and stuff like that, and they want to make sure that we, the audience, can see what's happening and that we're not confused by anything. So that's why they're making these changes. So that's one of the things. It's some other aesthetic choices like the exile zone must be near the graveyard and so stuff like that. That's usually true when you play anyway, but not all players do that. So yeah, that's it. I'll leave the link in the description so you can check out this site for yourself if you haven't read it already. And please leave a comment. Let us know. What do you think? Is this good? Is it bad? Should it be something else? Just let us know. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching.